Hello and welcome back to the Edge Podcast with Chip and Christy. I am Chip McCarter, and with me today, as always, is Christy Ogle. And we're the co-founders of the Edge Biz. We empower, develop, grow, and educate entrepreneurs and help them grow their business for one, keep the doors open, and learn how to market since everything has shifted within the last, year and a half. There's been so much adapting that's had to have been done. But this week, we wanted to jump on and talk to you about the X Factor. Christy, start us off. What is the X Factor?
So the X Factor is the ultimate competitive advantage. This is where you get innovative in your business and you add more value than any other business within your category. It's this way to find intangible value that goes beyond what any other business is offering. It's the ability to do more for your clients than absolutely anybody else out there, and then consistently maintain that outstanding standard.
For sure. And that X Factor, it also, we always say it's not about who I know, it's about who knows me. And that X Factor really, once you have that X Factor, you identify it and put it into action and start using it. You use your X Factor, you know what it is, but what makes you stand out is what makes people remember you and know you. And you have to constantly, adapt and change. Marketing itself has shifted to, in my opinion, 100% digital, but I mean, it's a good, compared to what it used to be, the numbers are up crazy. But adding value is ultimately the most important thing. You constantly have to keep adding value to your clients, potential clients, their friends. You just constantly find ways to add value and gain that X Factor.
Yeah, if you really want to change your business and take it to that new level of growth and get that competitive advantage, you have to create a business which you find enjoyment and fulfillment in. And it's the secret to unstoppable success and wealth is mastering the little things that have this giant difference in your business. So think about some businesses that have the X Factor that Chip. What's a business that you can think of that has this ultimate competitive advantage that nobody else really even touches on?
Well, the Amazon is the number one right now on top, because if you think about it, you can get anything at the click of a button within 24 hours. And when I say anything, they're like the super Walmart, but you can get high, top notch, all the way to low end, cheap stuff. But they constantly are innovating their platform. They're constantly adding value to their clients. They want you to be on Amazon as much as you're on Facebook, and they do good at it. They keep you coming back, but they have that X Factor. Another one is McDonald's. Man, it doesn't matter how many times they screw up your order, you're still going to go back.
Yep, exactly.
Because they have that right here, right now, immediate thing going for them. That's America's way. We want it immediately and we want it inexpensive. And McDonald's just capitalized on that alone.
The one I think of is Apple. I was at a conference a few years ago. Remember when we used to go to those when there'd be
when you could talk to people, not have to worry about how close you were.
About 2,500 people there. And they were training on the X Factor. 2,500 people, 16 to 85. I mean, there was men, women, mostly business owners there. And they said, okay, how many of you in this room have an Android phone? And they meekly, 10 people out of the 2,500 go,
yeah,
like, I've got one. And then they go, okay, how many of you in this room have an Apple phone? And the rest of them stand up and we're like, Apple! And then they were like, how many of you have an Apple computer? How many of you have an Apple tablet? How many of you have an Apple Watch? And everybody's screaming and hollering. The Apple lovers love Apple. Think about how Apple dominated telecommunications. They dominated the music sector. They dominated the computer sector. And now, everybody has one. Everybody compares their phones to Apple iPhones, and they're not nearly, they could be better. Who cares, right? But they don't have these amazing raving fans like Apple does. They've got this dynamic fusion of new ideas and innovation. That's Apple's X factor, the innovation. They're always thinking, how can I make my customers' lives better? Steve Jobs was great at this. He thought, how can I innovate my company and how can I change people's lives? I'll put this music on this little, what were they called? iPod. Tiny iPods. You'd have thousands of songs in your pocket. Not like the big old CD players when I was a kid that were like this and you had to strap them on you when you went on the run, right?
Oh, yeah.
They are thinking, which is great because there's three forms of relationships. There's the relationship with customers and clients that's very selfish. It's you buy from me, I get money. The second kind of relationship is you need something, I've got something, I'm going to sell it to you, provide what you need, and then you're going to give me money to pay my bills. The third and most special kind of relationship that Apple has nailed, that Microsoft forgot about Bill Gates, even though he's very rich, right? But he's not $1 trillion company like Apple. Yeah, I said trillion with a T. Is he forgot that you anticipate the needs of your clients before they even know what the needs are. Apple nails that every single time. They're thinking, how can I take care of my clients? They don't even know they need a phone in their pocket to take photographic pictures. They didn't know that they needed a phone on their watch so that they could be connected 24/7. Didn't know that we needed to count our steps when we walked. We had no freaking clue, but Apple nailed it. They kill it every single time because they're anticipating our needs as human beings and wanting to make our experience better. And Apple encompasses this better than any company we know. That's why it's $1 trillion company. And Microsoft, I mean, they're making their billions, I'm sure.
Yeah, they're still doing good. But I even like to break it down to like your community. You can look around, as an entrepreneur in a small city or a town or even a big city, look at the businesses that are killing it in your area. And the best part about that is you can actually like use that. You find the ones in your niche that are in your field of work and, not copy word for word or verbatim what they do, but use what is working for them, for you. Yeah, model after them, and find what their X factor is, and find if yours is different, that's even better. You can work it in and find other ways to add more value and add another X factor to it.
Exactly, add more value. So when you think about fast food restaurants, McDonald's is great. They've got an X factor on those burgers, but who has the X factor on the chicken sandwich? Chick-fil-A. If you have a restaurant, go to your local Chick-fil-A and notice their X factors. They're a little bit different than McDonald's, right? So how could you build your restaurant like Chick-fil-A did? I'm not saying start serving chicken sandwiches, but how do they treat their customer? They anticipate their needs more than any other fast food place around. They have their drive-through lines shaded in Texas. There was such long lines years ago that they added the second drive-through line, a third drive-through line. I've even seen a fourth drive-through line. They asked me, what kind of sauce would you like? Well, thank you. I don't even have to ask for it. How many ketchups would you want? My pleasure. Everybody is kind there. They're always asking, what can they do for the customer? So with your X factor in your business, what can you do to add more value to your customers to get this epic competitive advantage? I'm not saying start adding a bunch of freebies. Don't hear me there. I'm not saying to give an extra hour of work, blah, blah, blah. I'm not, but how can you add more value? Can you have better customer service? Can you take care of your customer on the back end a little bit better?
Can you educate them?
Is what'll add value.
Yeah, or can you even educating, people that aren't necessarily your clients yet, just educating people about your niche. Set yourself as the expert in your field,
Exactly.
There's tons of different ways to catch that X factor. You have to identify yours though. I have a close friend, Sammy, who's a member of the Edge, who's an introvert. So he had to identify his X factor won't be the same as mine because I talk to people and I'm more outgoing. So he identified his strengths, and you play towards your strengths. You magnify your X factor. Once you realize and identify what it is, then you start shining the light on it.
Yeah. Innovation is a specific instrument of entrepreneurship. It is this specific act that endows resources with new capacity and the ability to create wealth. This is by Peter Drucker. I didn't come up with that. I'm not that smart, Chip. But this X factor is so important. And sometimes it takes you a while. You'll think, oh, this is my X factor, and go with it, run with it. And then the universe will open it up for you and you'll see a different X factor. Go with it and run with it. Your innovation in business is always changing. There's two reasons you are in business. One is innovation and two is marketing. You have to be innovative. What is your X factor really in your business? And I have a lot of people go, well, it's me. Well, then you're self-employed. You have to go a step further. It's okay as solopreneurs to have you as the X factor, but as you scale your business, think about your exit strategy, right? You're not going to be there. So you can't be the X factor. Think of something else, add value so that you can scale your business. Because if you're just the only one running a business, you're self-employed. You have to think bigger and be bigger to have that X factor.
And if you are the X factor for your business, start figuring out a way to train people to be, to have the same X factor. There's ways, figure out what makes you be the X factor and teach and pass it down.
Yeah, it's really your skills, your psychology, and that experience that gives you the edge that makes a difference to your clients. Psychology is so important. That's the first thing you need to train to the people that you bring on as a leader, because psychology is 80% of the business. And it's really the psychology of the leader and the owner. So you've got to reteach that mindset. And Chip and I working with business owners every single day. No, this is the hardest thing for people to wrap their mind around is the psychology. You can do the skills all day long, and somebody has written a book about those cupcakes that you're perfecting, right? Mm-hmm. That's easy to teach. That's only 20% of the business and skills and strategy. You can pick up a book, you can go to a conference, you can listen to a podcast, but that psychology piece is something even I work on every single day, because the mind is a muscle. How many times do you have to go to the gym to be tall, big, and strong? You can't get taller at the gym, by the way.
No, you can try, but it doesn't work.
Yeah, you can work on that, but you have to go every single day. You can't go to the gym one random Tuesday and be like, I'm fit and healthy. The mind is the same way. You have to train that muscle over and over and over again. You have to build that psychology. So my question to all of you is, what is the X factor in your business? Now, Chip and I have worked on our X factor with Edge for the last 6 months since we've had it up and running. And we finally figured out and we're pretty smart people, what our X factor is in September of 2021. What is it, Chip? What's our X factor?
So more the education that comes with the networking is almost a bonus compared to what actually is involved with the edge. It's marketing education for entrepreneurs with networking, via networking. You go and while learning and being educated and giving call to actions and talking about your business and figuring out what you need to be working on, the networking and connecting to these other business owners, making connections for joint ventures, opening your client list to other businesses so they open theirs to you. Most other networking organizations they have trainings and they have a little bit of this, but they're the same ones over and over again. They're generic and they're not specific to you and your business. Our meetings literally get down to each and every person's business. If you join and jump on the Zooms with us, we'll actually talk about your business, whatever it is. It could be a bookstore. We'll ask you, what do you need to do today? And that's the difference, because all the other networking, it's about connecting. Yes. It's about learning how to do referrals. Yes. But when it comes to learning how to be a successful entrepreneur, that part's lacking. And that's why we stepped in. We want to help people avoid the stupid tax, the dumb tax. We want to help people to remember to keep it simple, stupid, KISS all the time. If you keep it in the front of your mind all the time, then you're going to constantly grow. You're going to constantly move forward. You just always have to be taking that action and moving forward and gaining that edge. That's why we at the edge, our X factor is the education that comes along with the connections.
Yeah. So your X factor in your business could be lots of different things. It could be your culture. It could be your financial analysis. It could be your anything that resonates with you. Perhaps it's your mission that you have in your business, something you do that if you really focused on it, it could change it all, because you are special. Your business has this greatness within it, and you've got to kind of peel it back like an onion, the layers. Thank you, Shrek. I got it from Shrek. So you got to peel back the layers of the onion to get where you're going. So what is it that makes your company stand out? What do you add more than anyone else in the business to your customers and clients? What is your company great at? What makes you stand out individually? What could your X factor in business really become? So Chip and I, as we were putting together this podcast, we love to bounce the ideas off of each other so you guys can listen, but we want you to take it a step further. Mm-hmm. What can you identify in your business that is your X factor? And what will give you the edge that makes your competition totally irrelevant? Then you communicate this X factor to your clients.
Yep. And you start letting everybody know.
Yeah.
Yep. Once you identify your X factor, the call to action this week is identifying your X factor. What's up?
What is it? What gives you the edge?
Yeah. You need to know that more than anything, though. As an entrepreneur, you need to know what makes you stand out. And then once you know, like I said, magnify it. Let everybody know what your X factor is, because that's the biggest marketing move you can make, because you have to get out there and let people know, for one, what you do, but why they should choose you. So that's something. And then maybe next week, as an add-on call to action, figure out how to optimize your X factor.
Yes, exactly. It's going to give you the edge. It's going to make your competition irrelevant. So really sit there and think, I'm saying work on your business, not in it. Mm-hmm. What gives you the edge with the X factor?
For sure. All right, guys, y'all had it this week, the X factor. Identify it and start working on your business and get that money. Thank you for tuning in. And this has been the Edge Podcast with Chip and Christy. We love you. Stay safe.